Good Saturday morning to you, and welcome to the Sleep Show alongside Dr. Bethaney Brenner. I'm Gary Byron. She's very easy. She's got to be one of the most easiest people to reach. Listen to this, all right? Number one, you can go to her website, which is theburlingtondentist.com. And if you're saying, well, why does she have a dentist? I thought she's asleep. No, listen up. It's a huge link between sleep disorders and dentistry. But go to theburlingtondentist.com. And do something very important. There's a link there that'll take you to her YouTube channel. So if you miss any of this show or maybe any of the previous episodes, you can listen or even watch them at your convenience. Isn't that great? That's really cool. So subscribe to that channel, but let me give you something equally as important. And that's the phone number. And there's a very good reason I want you to get this, because at the end of this show, the first 5 callers are going to receive a free sleep assessment. And if you're saying, oh, I wish my kid's not, it could be for you, could be for your child, could be for your spouse, but you got to be one of the first 5 callers at the end of this show. So I'm going to give you that number right now. And it's easily a $250 value. Personally, I think it's worth more, but we won't tell her that. 860-673-7155. Ready? I'm going to give it to you again. In case you're writing it down, I'll slow it down a little bit. Just get that pad, get your pencil, get your pen. Ready? 860-673-7155. And if you missed any of those points of contact, no worries. I'm going to repeat them at least 2 more times before the show is over. Well, good morning and happy 4th of July, Dr. Bethany Brenner.
You too.
I see you in red, white, and blue.
I did, exactly.
Pretty observant.
Yeah. Well, I like to dress for the 4th. Oh. I think it's a very important event this year.
250 years, of course. We should be down in D.C. at on the mall.
Oh, that would have been great, wouldn't it? I would have loved to have been down there. My dad was in the military for a career, and so 4th of July was always very special on a military base.
Do you have any plans for today or tonight?
I don't.
Come on, no cookouts, no fireworks?
Yeah, well,
Come on.
We'll see how the heat goes.
Well, I know.
We're kind of a little... I'm sort of in an older crowd, so we don't handle the heat as well.
I'm hearing might be some thunderstorms later.
Yeah. Well, break the heat, hopefully. Hopefully we'll pull out of this by tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's... It won't be in the 90s tomorrow. It'll only be 89.
Yeah, if the humidity goes away, it'll be better, though.
Fireworks keep people up at night.
My dogs don't like it, for sure.
A lot of dogs don't like it.
Yeah. And I feel bad for them because a lot of people, they get 3 sheets to the wind and then they start firing them all off. It is what it is. And it's not one night. It goes on for a week or 2.
A couple weeks, yeah. And it dies down.
Yeah.
So
we always enjoyed it when we were younger with the kids.
Oh, of course. I mean, I have to admit, I love fireworks.
I do too. I used
to buy them. I used to go like south of the border in South Carolina.
My husband used to drive up to North Carolina.
New Hampshire.
Yeah,
I did that too.
Yeah, drove up to New Hampshire. We'd have a big display, but we had a cottage on a lake, and so everybody would do the same thing. And it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We used to feed a lot of people, have a big picnic. But my friends have died off.
Don't say that. Come on.
They have. My husband passed away.
Well,
everybody passed away.
No, that's sad. But
that
doesn't mean all your friends have passed away.
A lot of them, I have to say.
You have old friends?
Well, some of them were 10 or 20 years older than myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
And then, they were parents of our friends, and I was friends with them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, people haven't aged well.
I don't want to fall into that category.
Well, neither do I.
I like to age with grace.
That's why I do this, because I think it's a lifestyle commitment. But, that's me.
I want to ask you a question. Mm-hmm. The last few episodes, you've mentioned something that I didn't want to interrupt you because you were on a tangent. And, the clock is always our worst enemy. Yeah. And there's a lot that I know that we want to get into. And you were on a roll, and it was really pertinent. I knew you had to get it out. And then I thought to myself, I'm going to ask her next week. And then the following week comes different topic, but the same scenario where I'm like, and then maybe one week I just completely forgot. And then I heard it during the week and I'm like, I meant to ask her that. What is GERD? I want to, because you've mentioned GERD. I want to know, it's kind of a 2-part question. So answer these both. Number one, let's start with what is GERD. And then I want to know, how is GERD related to sleep? And I was going to say if it, I know it is because you've mentioned it in the past. So take that as a two-parter.
So when I do my assessments, we do a pretty thorough medical history, right?
Yes.
GERD gets checked off on probably 30 to 40%, sometimes 50%.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay.
Exactly. So what is it? It's a gastroesophageal reflux disease. So
like acid reflux.
Like acid reflux, heartburn, okay? But you don't always get it during the day. You get it at night. Now, my mother suffered from this. She lived on Tums, I swear, forever, right? She would be up and down. Oh, my heartburn's bothering me tonight. And she'd get up. And I said, you know, Mom, I think you have sleep apnea. No, I don't. No, I don't. She never wanted to be tested. But she also was a diabetic. So there was my clue. Okay, so when you start to get arthritis, you start to get the autoimmune issues, which is arthritis and diabetes and so forth, because these are things that can be reversed. But the doctors just give you the pill, okay? And I say that with a cheeky kind of thing, because a lot of doctors do try to help their patients. I'm not saying they're all bad, okay? But you know, people want the quick fix. So what causes it, right? When you have a sleep apneic event, and this is how it's related to sleep, you don't breathe, right? You close off for 10 seconds or a little bit more. And when you close off, that's creating pressure within the chest because we're trying to suck in air, but we can't suck in the air.
Okay.
As soon as it releases, like that, the stomach acids all get sucked up into the esophagus and sometimes into the mouth. So I will see coated tongues. I will see acid erosion of the teeth, okay? And that just kind of thins up the enamel over time. Right? It's a very slow process. But you can also get esophageal cancer when you start having that on a regular basis. And a lot of people, they don't think it's important. They think, I'll just take a Tums, I'll get on a prescription drug. And those proton pump inhibitors, and we did a whole show on some of that, right? They close down all of your pump mechanisms in your body, your brain, your gut, all over. So even though it's important on the stomach because it's creating a symptom, there are ways to not have those symptoms, okay? So that's why I see a lot of GERD, and that's how it's related to sleep, okay? So why do we want to kind of talk about that? What are the symptoms besides suddenly waking up in the middle of the night and it's like you've got acid burn, okay?
Don't literally wake you up.
Yep.
It wouldn't just happen after you've eaten or an hour after you've eaten.
No,
like in the middle of a sleep.
Not that can't happen. Because some people, if they eat a very heavy meal, okay, they'll get a little heartburn. Mm-hmm. How big is their tummy? How much food did they eat? Okay? A lot of people, because of the amount of carbs that they eat with a large meal, they'll take a nap. I used to watch my grandfather do that. He'd go into the living room, put the newspaper over his face, and lay down. We were kids, right? We didn't know. So you kind of look at that and you think, did he have heartburn? I never heard him complain about it, but over time, he probably did, right? But a lot of people don't talk about it. So even when I ask on dental records, you know, and I'm doing an intake on just a regular dental patient, they don't always think to tell me that either. So then I ask, well, what are you taking for medications? Well, then I'll see like a omeprazole in there. So that's one of the proton pump inhibitors. They're on it all the time. These medications were designed to take for a week or two, not for a lifetime. They create osteoporosis. So I'm constantly saying, okay, do you know what the side effects are? Okay, and I'm not even talking about the fact that it shuts down the body's ability to get rid of all the toxins.
Sure.
Okay, but you're looking at, okay, is this a good medication to put in my body? So now you know why I'm more holistic. To me, I want to go back to the root cause, and I want to say, how can I change my life so I don't have the problem, right? So keeping my weight under control is a big one. When you get heavy, not only do you put the belly on, so that's additional weight on the chest, okay, which can compress the stomach and make the GERD worse, you also put it around the neck, okay? Mm-hmm. And so I like to say, and there's some studies that back me up, that the minute you start putting a little belly on, for a guy, he's already putting the fat on the back of his tongue and in his throat. So we measure neck size, okay? So we go around the neck and we say, how big are you, okay? Those numbers count. So when I'm treating someone and they're losing weight and I'm watching them get better, the neck size goes down, the tummy goes down, okay? So that they don't get as many GERD events. So then we start saying, how was your GERD? Because if that's one of their number one complaints, I'm looking at what are those, every time I see you, how are you doing? Are those going down? Are you just as bothered? Okay. These are important little facts. Now, why do we say that? Because you can get cancer from the irritation in the esophagus.
Oh.
And the physicians all know this, which is why they're trying to put out the fire, right? They're trying to decrease the acid in the stomach. But the sleep apneic event draws it up out of the stomach without, there's like no rhyme or reason. It's just, if it's strong enough vacuum pull, it pulls it up out of the stomach. Now, repeated apneic events, which is your sleep again, repeated apneic events make that sphincter that keeps the acid in your stomach and not in your esophagus, keeps that sphincter getting looser and looser and looser. So now it's easier to have the GERD. Do you understand why I'm saying that? So you want to kind of think about trying not to gain the weight, try to lose the weight. And so
it's not even a certain type of food. It's too much.
So too much food. We also talked about don't eat 2 to 3 hours before you go to sleep, right?
That always stuck with me, by the way.
Yeah. So I live by that rule. I live by that rule.
I'm pretty darn close myself.
Yeah. And because of it, I don't have those issues, okay? I try to keep my weight under control. And it's much harder as a female in menopause to keep my weight. And I have women all the time. It's like, how do I do this? Nothing works. That's why the GLP-1s became so popular. But GLP-1s have side effects, right? And that's a whole nother show we'll do. But to get back to the GERD, so you want to like not eat hot, spicy foods. You don't want to have caffeine. I shut my coffee off at like by noon, okay? Some people...
Really, huh?
I do, because caffeine really affects me. If I drink a coffee after dinner, my husband talked me into this when we were young, I would be up till 4 o'clock.
Yeah, no, after dinner, I get that part, but I mean, I could go 3 o'clock.
So some people are still doing a coffee at 3 o'clock. I can't drink a coffee like down in one gulp. So for me, I'm sipping it for hours. You know, I come in with my container and I'm like, I'm constantly sip, sip, sip. So by the time I finish my coffee that I make at 6 in the morning, I'm maybe done by noon, okay, or 1 o'clock. So I'm not shoving it into
milking it.
I don't get time to drink it. That's part of the problem. But yeah, so you want to kind of think caffeine, spicy foods, because some people are more affected by spicy foods than others. There are other little foods on the list. Everybody can Google that. But, you want to think how to keep the system functioning. So you want the food to empty out of the stomach before you lay down and go to sleep. The weight compresses on your chest, makes it easier to have the GERD event, okay? So my mother said to me, what can I do, right? Because she wasn't going to change anything. She was still going to take her Tums. I said, well, you can get a wedge.
How?
A wedge pillow, okay?
Taking Tums for like, what, weeks at a time?
Oh, my God, she took it for years.
Every day?
Every day. Every time
I don't think you should go any more than 5 or, maybe a week.
Every time she had an apneic event, she didn't realize it. Every time she had heartburn, she took a Tums. And she would get up in the middle of the night. It drove her to getting out of bed. Okay? So I lived with that, knowing what I know, trying to help her. And she's like, nope, I don't have that. I'm not doing that test. And there are people out there, this is exactly how they respond when I tell them in an examination, I think you might have sleep apnea. We should really test for this.
Wow.
And they fight back, right? Because they don't want to have, because you know why? Everybody assumes that they have to have a CPAP. And we have options now. We have other appliances that we can wear. And it's so easy. And I just had a young man, he's been a patient since he was 5 years old in my office. And he's now in his 40s. And he's had sleep apnea. And I told him like 10 years ago, you should get checked. He got checked. Mm-hmm. And he's been wearing his CPAP. Well, the CPAP broke.
Oh.
Okay? And he's like, I hate that thing. And he said, what are my options? And I said, well, you can't do nothing, John, because you need to take care of the sleep apnea, right? So we need to get you, and he's overweight. I said, you're going to have to lose weight. You're going to have to think about this. This is now life-altering. You're getting into that age group where you can have heart attacks and you get all kinds. He's already got high blood pressure, and he's not even 50 yet. So I care about everybody that comes in, and I can offer solutions to do you want to drink? It's like you can bring the horse to water,
sure,
but you can't make them do it. I have other people that have done these things, and your producer here, he's done it. He was overweight, and he said, well, I went on a different diet, and I exercise, and I try to do that, and he's lost his weight. But not everybody's committed to that. Not everybody gets into that habit. And sometimes we start habits and it's like, well, I'll do it for a week or two, and then life alters your plan and you get off the wagon, as I like to say. So it's the same for people when I'm telling them to floss. Like they'll floss for a week or two after they've got their teeth cleaned, and then they don't do it anymore till the next time they get their teeth cleaned. So some of it is self-discipline. Some of it you have to make it easier, right? We want to make it easier. So I try to give them simple guidelines on how to lose the weight. And we can talk about that in a different show. But fragmented sleep is one of the things that happens when people get GERD. Why? Because it slightly wakes you up, or it wakes you up and you're kind of rubbing your chest and you're kind of going, maybe I should drink some water. Maybe I can go back to sleep. I'm just telling you what people tell me, okay?
Yeah.
They don't always take something because it's not bad. Sometimes they get a bad taste in their mouth when they wake up in the morning and they're like, what did I got some terrible taste. And I can look at their tongue and see whether it's coated or not. And I know that's a variation among...
Does it taste like bile? Does it taste like...
acidy.
Acidy.
Yeah, that's the best way I can do it. But I can also see a brown coating. There's also something called silent GERD. So what does that mean? You don't even know you have it.
Jeez.
Okay? Right. So when you go in and you've got some problems, right, and they go and they do an endoscopy where they go down your throat and look at your esophagus, your stomach, because they're looking for things, right, that they can see with that special camera that they use. And thank God they can do that, because they can find the spots in the esophagus and they'll biopsy them. Okay? Now there's things that you can do that are on the more natural holistic version. If you go to Whole Foods, they have things that you can take for it. Licorice root is one of them, and DLG, which is another like supplement thing, which actually increases the mucus coating inside the esophagus on a natural level, so you don't feel the burn of the acid as much. So those are just a couple of things. I like to think we need to break the cycle, right? And so you can start on something a physician gives you if you're really bad. But let's get off of it in a couple of weeks, okay? And unfortunately, these prescriptions get renewed on a regular basis because it's easier, right?
Let me just do this really quick, because you're talking about prescriptions, and I was kind of thinking about treatments or prevention. And folks, you are listening to The Sleep Show along with Dr. Bethaney Brenner. I'm Gary Byron. You can find her online at theburlingtondentist.com, and you can call her. In fact, you'd want to call her at the end of the show. In fact, if you're one of the first 5 callers, you'll get a free sleep assessment valued at around $250. Here, call this number at the end of the show, 860-673-7155. 860-673-7155. And again, if you missed that, I'll repeat it one more time, more towards the end of the show. You're talking about, treat or medications, and obviously you want to prevent from even having GERD, even in the first place, if you can. Correct.
Right. If you can.
But are there holistic we can look at it in many different ways. Are there natural treatments?
Well, I just mentioned 2.
Okay, so or allopathic treatments? Are there medications? Are there prescriptions? I know you're not big. I know you're not big on that, but
yeah, but physicians do those prescriptions. They're not something that I'm going to write for. Okay, that's not in my purview.
But they exist.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's what
Besides
I was wondering.
Tums, which is over the counter.
Yeah, that's over the counter. Yeah. I mean, I have Tums. I can't tell you the last time I popped the Tums, but I have it just in case.
I'll give you a little story, because we were out to dinner, my husband and I, and we were having a nice swordfish dinner in the days before I realized it had so much mercury. And I ended up having like an upset stomach. I really was like, I was so uncomfortable. And the waitress comes back, "Do you want dessert?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't feel good. I think I've got like heartburn or something." Sure. She goes, "Oh, I can fix you right up." And she said, "I'm telling you, I can fix you right up." So my husband goes, "Well, try it." So she comes back with this little fizzling glass, and I said, "What is it?" Because I'm always very cautious. And she goes, "It's bitters. Just drink it down." Okay, so I drank it down. Oh my gosh, within 30 seconds to a minute, I was good.
Was it bitter?
It was. That's why you drink it fast. So she's like, drink it fast. But they make this stuff called bitters, and they have it in the bars because they add it to drinks. I didn't realize that because I don't drink a lot. But it's like another flavoring, I guess, that they can put into drinks. But there's something called bitters. Interesting, isn't it? So
I never heard of it.
Why would it neutralize? So I'm like, why would it neutralize that? I don't know. I haven't.
Do we know? We don't know what's in it.
I don't know what's in it, but I know it exists, and I don't use it. I don't keep it in my house to use it because I don't have heartburn. But
You go to the store. I'm just looking to buy bitters.
Well,
in case the situation ever arises again.
I think it might have it in a package store.
Oh, that would make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's popular in Europe. Interesting, right?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is. So
I'm going to look into it this weekend.
I know. But see, if everybody's drinking this weekend. So,
I'm not even like you. I'm not even a big drinker, but tonight, I mean, I might.
Am I going to have fun with my friends?
Sure.
Absolutely. We're all going to. I like the wine cooler thingies, and I like really super cold root beer, homemade root beer. I am a fan of root beer.
Ooh, and
the more bitter, the better. It's kind of weird because you'd think root beer should be sweet because that's what we had when we were kids. Remember the black cows that we used to make when we were?
Yeah.
That was a big treat that my
The
mother
more
would
bitters,
make.
the better.
Good one.
Thank you.
That was a good one.
I get up early, folks.
I know you do. Anyway, so we have so alcohol is another thing that causes more heartburn. So obviously, if we're going to have some drinking, which we all are going to do this weekend, we just need to be kind of aware that we could probably get some heartburn from that.
I'm a lightweight. See, I have a 2-drink minimum when I'm driving. If I'm going to be, and I'm going to be down the shore later on tonight.
It's not a full hard liquor drink like a martini or something.
No. I have 2. If I'm home, when I'm staying home, well, then
that's
I'll
a
have
different story.
I can have more than 2, although not many more than 2. I don't like to lose control of my faculties or myself at all.
Well, you know what? If we're having company in our homes, I feel obligated to be with it.
Well, social.
And I have to clean up after the mess, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm like usually working through it all. I used to throw huge parties and I have a lot of professional friends, and it's really hard when you watch somebody kind of get 3 sheets to the wind and they're staggering out and their wife is mad at them.
So if you get GERD and you change your diet, you can rid yourself of GERD.
Yes. Or you can reduce it dramatically.
Oh,
reduce it dramatically to the point where you can probably not have it. So the medications, the typical prescription medications, also the side effect is you get osteoporosis. Okay.
Did you start drinking already?
No. I
keep you right
anyway.
on this one.
You're funny.
Just funny looking.
Yeah, no. So part of that is just understanding that men get osteoporosis just like women do. Women tend to get it more quickly.
And you don't hear that too often. It's usually, you hear more about women getting osteoporosis.
We're seeing more low T in guys than we ever did before, okay? So you want to kind of think, what can I do to keep myself healthy? You don't want to get the GERD. If you've got the GERD, let's look at what you can do to reduce the GERD. But then I just had a friend who said, I'm struggling to lose weight, right? I just told you about the young man in my office. He's in his 40s, and he can't lose weight. And he's like, and I exercise, and I go and I do weightlifting, and I can't lose a pound. Okay? So this is we can have a whole show on just the hormone imbalances in the body and with sleep apnea. So these are the things that sleep apnea is creating, and we got to kind of offset that. But we have to lose the weight to get that more under control. And it's understanding the chemistry of the body and what the sleep is doing, what the food is doing to us, so that we can change that pathway. Because as I've said before, I want to get to 80. I don't want to be on any prescriptions, and I don't want to have any diseases.
And after 80, what? All bets are off?
If I get to 80, then I'm going to start partying. No,
she's saving it up and building it up and blowing it off then.
Yeah, right.
That's when you celebrate.
Well, you know what? I like to have fun. I used to we threw a party. I used to say to my husband, it's not up to me to do the entertainment. It's up to people to have a good time. I'm providing the place. I might provide some music. I might provide great food. But it's up to them to have a good time.
I couldn't have said that better myself. All right, before we wrap things up, I talk about this $250 value to your sleep assessment. I know, but others would know if as they listen regularly, they would know that it's very thorough. But for people who just picked up the show either today or very recently, what would you want them to know about this sleep assessment? Because I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of phone calls right at the end of the show.
Well, first of all, it's not like anything you've ever had before. So bear with me. The questionnaire is always very thorough, and everybody complains about it. They're not complaining as much now. That's we've been talking about this for a few months now.
Okay, good.
So they know that they're what they're walking into. But they are also surprised at how long it takes them to fill out the form, because I really need them to think.
But they can take it home.
Oh yeah, we
They
send
can
it.
download.
We send it to them, so they
There you
have
go.
plenty of time to fill it out. Absolutely. We want that filled out before you walk into the office, and I have the people that forget to do it, and then they're sitting out in my waiting room, and they're like 45 minutes later, they finally finished filling it out, and your like hour just went away. Okay, so it's really hard when they've driven a distance. That's why we emphasize it. My staff emphasizes it. I emphasize it. But you know what? I really still need to talk to them, because how they talk to me sets off alarm bells in my head about what's gone on. And then that leads me to more questions, just like when I talk to you. That always leads to more questions, right?
Yeah.
So what are those questions? Okay, tell me more about that. Like if you've had an injury to the face, if you've had a car accident, if you've had other issues that they think are unrelated, but I know they're related, okay? So those all become important factors in what we're trying to do.
Very well. Well worth the phone call. I would say start dialing right now, since you've got to be one of 5 callers. She puts this at $250 value. I say it's a little more than that, but I think she's being very generous. However, it's irrelevant, because you're going to receive it absolutely free. And let me tell you how you're going to receive it absolutely free: by calling this number right now, 860-673-7155. Again, 860-673-7155. Her office, it's right here in Burlington, Connecticut, and hence the name of her website, theburlingtondentist.com. You go to theburlingtondentist.com, click on her YouTube channel button, and subscribe to it. You'll get this show and all others in the past that you may have missed. For Dr. Bethaney Brenner, I'm Gary Byron. Thank you so much for listening to The Sleep Show. Until next Saturday morning, have a good one, everybody. So long.